Luo Feng's spiritual force spread out and instantly found a calabash-like plant around 100 meters to his left. It was only around 2 meters long. His spirit energy opened up a path ahead and Luo Feng walked straight through. Luo Feng, this cloud contact vine will accompany you for life. Babata sighed. Of course I, the demon Babata, will accompany you for life unless you die, then I will leave. According to Master's orders. I will only recognize you as Master on the day you become a region lord. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Oh. Luo Feng immediately understood. The 3 accounts left behind in the Universe Galaxy Bank were respectively Star Level, Universe Level and Domain Lord Level respectively. In other words, it was the final huge sum of wealth and countless treasures that he would only be able to obtain after he became a region lord. As for the artificial intelligence Babata, it was only after he became an area lord that it officially recognized him as its master. Obviously, only when he became a region lord would his teacher consider him qualified. After carefully placing the gourd-like cloud contact vine larva into his bag, Luo Feng rushed into the sky. Bang! From more than 10,000 meters underground, Meng Chao crushed countless rocks in one go, broke the surface of the lake and flew into the air. The sky outside was blue, and white clouds floated at the horizon like silk. Occasionally, a group of large bird-type monsters would fly past them. Luo Feng stood in mid-air and surveyed his surroundings, feeling extremely good. Luo Feng looked down at his tactical communications watch. Missed call? Luo Feng called back. Hello Luo Feng, what happened just now? I called you 2 or 3 times and you couldn't get through? Lu He's voice carried from the tactical communications watch. Luo Feng was stunned. Immediately Babata's voice resounded in his mind. Luo Feng, when you were in the Yun Mo planet ship earlier, you blocked all outside signals. How strange. Luo was very puzzled. Luo Feng's mind was swiftly thinking of how to reply. One had to know that the entire Earth was covered in signals. It was almost impossible for a call to fail. Oh, it's like this. My tactical watch was almost out of battery just now, so I turned it off first. Now I have left the underground and am preparing to go back. The autojet can be charged, so it's back on. Luo Feng swiftly came up with an excuse. Oh, turned off? When the phone is turned off, isn't there usually a voice notification saying, the number you dialed is turned off? But that's right, sometimes there are problems with the voice prompts. Lu He didn't dwell on this issue. Luo Feng, you said you're going back? The rest of us are still searching underground. I feel like I can't find it, so I don't want to. Luo Feng smiled. Okay. I will continue to explore with the others. We might be able to find it. Lu He ended the call after saying that. Find the Muya crystals? They won't be able to find the Muya crystals. Babata laughed weirdly. Luo Feng immediately flew towards the distant autojet, at the same time controlling the autojet to fly over. You said there are no more Muya crystals? Luo Feng was shocked. The autojet stopped in the air like lightning. The hatch opened and Luo Feng directly flew in. Number 1, go home, ordered Luo Feng. Of course not. In the sea of consciousness, Babata's voice rang out. I purposely threw those Muya crystals from the airship's door. I rely on the energy in the spaceship to form a virtual energy body. That virtual energy body is unable to leave the spaceship. Back then I threw the Muya crystals to attract the geniuses of Earth to test their brain expanse. Test. Luo Feng was shocked. When we were searching for the Muya crystals, you already tested them? Luo Feng remembered that in archaeological ruin number 9, the ruins took quite a bit of time to complete the test. You think my efficiency is as low as the surveillance base's AI? Babata said proudly, however you Earthlings are really lacking in talent. So many star travelers, a large group of war gods. The one with the best talent is U-22, the next is a war god 16, the third is a star traveler level 2, his brain expanse is 15. 16. Luo Feng asked, who is it? The 4th chairman Eastbourne, brain expanse 15. Luo Feng wasn't surprised. But there was actually someone taller than Eastbourne. It's a kid from India on Earth. Babata said. India? Luo Feng didn't ask any further. If he was from China he could still train him a bit. But if he was from India, forget it, let's just see how lucky he is. However, he's already a war god, he's doing quite well. The autojet flew above the continent of Australia, swiftly flying towards Asia's Jiang-Nan headquarters city. In the cabin. Luo Feng, the cloud contact vine is extremely loyal, it will only recognize one master in its life. This is also the reason why when my master was killed, the cloud contact vine also died. Once the cloud contact vine recognizes its master, no one else can use it. So, the owner recognition process is very important. However, before that I'll first modify your autojet's AI system. Babata said. Autojet system? Luo Feng was a bit shocked. Many of the buttons in the autojet lit up, the lights on the buttons were dazzling. In just 15 seconds, everything returned to normal. It's fine now. Babata said. Why do I need to modify the system? Luo Feng asked. This autojet system's first authority is actually controlled by your dojo of limits head Hong, the second authority is yours. So, as long as he wants to, he can know anything you do in the autojet. And he can recall the autojet at any time. Babata said, after I modify it Hong won't be able to sense anything, and the autojet will listen to you. Hong has the second authority. Luo Feng was shocked but then he understood. If he was the one selling the autojet he would have kept a few tricks up his sleeve. This Clouscraper vine is much better than the one Hong got before. Babata exclaimed, Back then after your grand nirvana period, humans began to produce strong warriors. To attract them over, I threw a cloud contact vine seed and it began to grow. Furthermore, I have absorbed 3 Muya crystals, and 2 of the crystals that I crushed into powder were absorbed by some plants, forming what you call essence of nature. It's a pity? Hong and his underlings took away the cloud contact vine and spirits of nature. I could only use the Muya crystals to raise a so-called emperor monster, to lure you all here. After that, I used the crystals to attract countless human warriors to gather, giving me the chance to pick the one with the highest mental capacity. Babata explained, back then I placed a small pile of Muya crystals at the entrance of the ship, throwing them out one by one. I purposely placed 3 of them beside you. And the other 8, I purposely placed them not far from you. But after throwing a few, everything was settled. As I couldn't leave the ship, I could only use the ship's spirit energy to invade your mind, quietly influencing you, leading you to the shard and letting you pick it up. After that, I guided you to the entrance of the ship. Babata said in one breath. Luo Feng was shocked. Damn. From start to finish, everything on Misty Island was directed by Babata. Spirits of nature, cloud contact vine, Grand Emperor, Muya crystals. Back then Luo Feng was suspicious. Why didn't the Grand Emperor collect the other Muya crystals? So the crystals were thrown on the spot. And the shard he picked up was also unknowingly guided, discovering the ship too. Spirit energy? Why would it guide me? Luo Feng asked anxiously. This thing was too terrifying. It's not as strong as you think. Babata said, it's very weak, it's just subconsciously influencing you. You were already searching aimlessly underground, with me subconsciously guiding you, you naturally headed in that direction. And if I were to guide you, say, to kill yourself, of course you would wake up, would you agree? Luo Feng nodded. Indeed, when he was on the phone with Su Xian he was still conscious. Let's not talk about this, hurry and let the cloud contact vine recognize you as its master. Babata said, just cut your wrists, this vine needs to drink a lot of fresh blood. Cut his wrists? To a star traveler warrior, it wouldn't be too dangerous. Even though Luo Feng was shocked, he still cut his wrists. His wrists got closer to the cloud contact vine. The fresh blood was constantly absorbed by it. With Luo Feng cells, the wound on his wrists quickly recovered. Luo Feng could only helplessly cut himself again. Shio. A blood-red grape-like fruit appeared out of nowhere, landing on the cloud contact vine's body. It was immediately wrapped up by the vines. Streaks of blood-red electricity began to flow on the cloud contact vine's body. What's wrong? Babata? Luo Feng asked. That fruit was definitely Babata's doing. Other than himself, only Babata had a storage space in his core. First time cultivating the cloud contact vine. Babata explained, the cloud contact vine's larva, I didn't dare to cultivate it because after cultivating it, it becomes stronger. If you're weaker than it, you won't be able to tame it. Hence, all these years I've been cultivating it, and now that it's starting to recognize its owner, it's the best time to cultivate it. Just like how you babies on Earth, mother's milk is very important. The cloud contact vine's first cultivation, the items it swallows are very important too. Firstly, it has to be a treasure, and secondly, it has to be something the vine can swallow. Babata explained, that fruit earlier was specially prepared by your teacher for your vine. In terms of price, it's even more expensive than your shard. Luo Feng was shocked. Babata immediately threw out a fruit that was even more expensive than a hybrid copper essence shard. It meant that Babata had his own personal stash. Didn't you say the teacher only gave me those? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. Those are the ones I gave you. The ones in my storage space are for the cloud contact vine. Don't think about the treasures in my storage space. I'll strictly follow the master's plan and cultivate you. Within the wrist space, Babata's face was filled with pride. Amidst the conversation, the cloud contact vine's color changed from green to dark red, and on its surface, there were red threads flowing. You can keep it now, you can directly absorb it into your skin. This first cultivation. The fruit I gave you is too strong, it'll take a long time to digest. Babata said. Luo Feng curiously extended his hand to touch the cloud contact vine beside him. In an instant, their minds connected. The vine's consciousness transmitted to Luo Feng how to use it. The control was indeed simple. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. Immediately the cloud contact vine swiftly shrunk, becoming like a half-a-meter-long horse whip, swiftly merging into Luo Feng's skin and vanishing. It felt as though his body had an extra layer of cold clothing. It was very comfortable. And the cloud contact vine's pure consciousness was very attached to Luo Feng, just like a parent. Luo Feng felt, the cloud contact vine was like a baby. This cloud contact vine's larva, its first cultivation is already so shocking. From the start, it's already far ahead of the other vines. Once it finishes its first evolution, it'll be able to become your helper. When that time comes, even the Black God set won't be as useful as it. Babata was very proud. I dare say in the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire, there aren't many as extravagant as this, playing this way on the first cultivation. Luo Feng was already used to Babata's arrogance. Babata, if I use the shard, what level of fighter can I deal with? Luo Feng asked the question he wanted to ask. Ichim, your current use of spirit energy is still very rough. Your usage of this hybrid copper essence shard is too simple. I estimate you can deal with a normal Star Traveler level 6 fighter. No matter what, this thing is still a treasure that even an undying fighter would find hard to destroy. Within his wrist space, the black-robed little Babata shook his head. However, when you get home, I'll let you receive your teacher's inheritance, give you some simple training and you'll be able to deal with a normal Star Traveler level 8. That Thunder God, if he really goes all out he probably won't be your match. Luo Feng was shocked within. Thunder God? What's there to be shocked about? Don't you know who I, Babata, am? You're the only disciple of Unimo planet, and you use the hybrid copper essence, against someone who walks the wrong path. Isn't it normal to jump 7 or 8 levels? Babata was extremely confident and arrogant. Your teacher is an undying fighter, and one of the undying fighters. Luo Feng muttered within. In the end, he was killed by an even more terrifying being amongst the undying fighters. Right, Babata? Just why was my teacher killed by the enemy? Luo Feng was very curious, an existence that roamed the universe, an eternal being, just why did they kill each other? You want to know? Babata asked. Luo Feng nodded. If you want to know, you'll have to become an undying first. Within the wrist space, Babata's pale little face revealed his signature evil smile. Undying? Luo Feng was speechless. Too far away. Becoming a sector lord took over 100,000 years, how long would it take to become an undying? China only had 5,000 years of culture. The dark blue triangular autojet, late at night, flew above Jiang-Nan headquarter city's Yangzhou city. Within the Mingyue district, Luo Feng's house's lights were still on, his little brother, mother and the others stood at the entrance. Luo Feng had already called earlier saying he would be home soon. Dad, Mom. Look, it's a fighter jet. Luo Hua said to his father who was in a wheelchair, and his mother who was waiting beside. Little Feng is back. The family looked over in surprise. A dark blue fighter jet slowly descended from the sky, stopping on the grass patch that wasn't even 100 m away from the house. The cabin door opened and Luo Feng, dressed in a black battle uniform, walked out shouting passionately, Dad, Mom. Luo Feng's return home made his parents very happy. However, Luo Honghua and Gong Xinlan didn't know what Luo Feng had experienced in these short 3 to 4 days. On the morning of the second day, the morning mist pervaded the air. Luo Feng bade farewell to his family and prepared to leave for Hongning headquarters city. You've just returned and you're leaving again. Morning breakfast was laid out on the dining table. Gong Xinlan got up and pushed his wheelchair, sending Luo Feng off. It'll be quick, I'll be back for lunch. Luo Feng smiled. Back for lunch? Mom will personally go out to buy groceries and make you your favorite meal. Gong Xinlan smiled. Luo Feng nodded. Even though he had eaten some delicacies in the virtual war god palace, they were much better than what his mother made. However, the moment he smelled his mother's cooking, Luo Feng felt a deep sense of love. Dad, Mom, I'll be leaving first. I'll give you a surprise in the afternoon. Luo Feng laughed and ran towards the autojet. Surprise? Luo Honghua, who was in the wheelchair, and Gong Xinlan, who was beside him, looked at each other in confusion. The dark blue triangular autojet swiftly took off from Mingyue district and headed directly towards Asia's Hongning headquarters city. I've always wanted to let my parents use the spirits of nature. This time I can finally exchange for some. Luo Feng was filled with joy. Luo Feng. A clear voice resounded in his mind. Babata? Luo Feng used a thread of spirit energy to connect to the space in his wrist guard. Luo Feng, this exchange is a good opportunity. Babata said, the spirits of nature are fine, even though they have some energy essences, the amount is very little. To normal people and students it's still useful. But to Star Traveler level fighters it's very little. After we choose the spirits of nature, we'll see if there are any other treasures to exchange for. Your head might have some good stuff hidden away. Oh, alright. Anyway, I have 4.5 Muya crystals publicly, I can exchange for items worth 90 stars. Luo Feng communicated mentally, I'll choose one of the spirits of nature, whatever else I want to exchange for. Babata, you decide. Haha, relax, leave it to me. Babata said. Hongning headquarters city headquarters, entrance of a huge spaceship. A silver-haired Caucasian lady in a luxurious black leather coat and hat walked out from the entrance of the spaceship building. Immediately, 3 subordinates who had been waiting there went up to greet her. Chancellor. Chairman, are we going back now? Out of these 3 subordinates, 2 of them were war gods and the last one was a butler. There's no rush. We'll stay in Hongning base city for 3 days. If you can't negotiate with Hong, you can still look for other inspectors or personal guards. The silver-haired old lady's voice was slightly high-pitched, and her face was expressionless. However, when she looked around, the people around her didn't dare to look her in the eye. She was a woman. It was the underground king of the entire world, the chairman of the HR Alliance. Pay attention to Hongning base city. Notify me if you find the 3 guards or the 6 inspectors, the silver-haired old lady ordered. Yes. The butler beside him immediately responded. Let's go, the silver-haired old lady ordered. Soon, a luxurious Maybach sedan with a long history slowly drove over. Under the protection of her subordinates, the old lady entered the car. The wheels slowly rolled and the car left the Dojo of Limits headquarters just like that. About an hour later, a dark blue triangular fighter jet descended from the sky, landing on a nearby tarmac. A youth wearing black casual clothes and carrying a backpack jumped out of the cabin. The cabin door automatically closed. Investigator. A few of the guards in the headquarters saw Luo Feng and immediately bowed respectfully. Luo Feng carried his backpack and immediately walked towards the entrance. This was the ship's headquarters. Only a few of the upper echelons of the Dojo of Limits had the right to enter. Those without the right to barge in would be killed by the defense system. And obviously, Luo Feng was one of the upper echelons with the right to enter. Greetings, investigator. Under the respectful greetings of a few blue-robed personnel, Luo Feng immediately went to find the head. At the same time, Chairman, the Dojo of Limits investigator Luo has just entered the headquarters. The news swiftly spread to the HR Alliance's chairman, walking within the gigantic ship. It's an interstellar transport ship. Babata's surprised voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. I wonder how damaged it is. I really want to check it out. It's a pity that many of the transport ship systems and energy sources are all shut down, there's no way to check it out. So what if we check it out? This is the head ship. Luo Feng communicated. You fool, the UNMO planet ship can't be repaired. Of course we have to think of a way, just how do we leave Earth? How do you leave without a ship? Babata said. This ship can still fly? Luo Feng asked. No, this interstellar transport ship has been damaged for too long. I think many places have rusted, etc. With the flow of time, even a powerful sector lord would rot. A perfect interstellar transport ship, left underground for tens of thousands of years would have problems, much less a damaged one. Luo Feng nodded to himself. Then why are you so shocked? It's damaged, but that means there are many universe ship wreckages on Earth. If we get more wreckages, who knows, we might be able to assemble a small universe ship. Babata said excitedly. Assemble a ship? Luo Feng was shocked. That's a piece of cake. Don't you know who I am? I'm a living AI. My database has a large amount of knowledge. Many high-level civilizations' knowledge is in my possession. With enough machinery, materials, robots, etc., I can even build a large interstellar battleship. Not to mention assembling a ship. Babata said confidently. Luo Feng was indeed filled with curiosity towards the vast universe, especially the virtual universe network. According to what Babata said, entering the virtual universe network would allow one to meet with the countless races in the universe. Even though he wasn't prepared to explore the universe, having a ship that could travel in the universe was still a good thing. Babata, I can buy large amounts of machinery and materials for you to build. Luo Feng said. Oh. Within the space of the wrist guard, Babata's little face revealed a helpless expression. Long distance flying in the universe, the requirements for a ship are very high. Not just the internal energy system, etc., but also the body's strength. The materials on Earth, in terms of strength, are far from enough to support the flight. Hence, it's best to choose those universe ship wreckages to assemble. This matter isn't urgent. Once you reach the star level, you can occasionally visit other planets in the universe. It's not too late. Babata said. Regarding the assembly of the ship, Luo Feng left it all to Babata to think of a solution. He himself just had to focus on his training. Within the ship, within the meditation room. Head. Luo Feng bowed. Luo Feng, sit. A black-clothed Hong sat cross-legged on a praying mat. Luo Feng too sat cross-legged. What are you here for this time? Hong looked at Luo Feng. I want to exchange for some things. Luo Feng said directly, I want to exchange for Muya crystals. Haha, good. Hong couldn't help but smile. He was very clear on the effects of the crystals. Whether it was for his own training or for the cloud contact vine's growth, Hong needed Muya crystals. Hence, he welcomed others to exchange for them. This is the exchange list. It's even more detailed than the last time. Hong waved his hand. Oh. In the dark meditation room, a huge screen appeared. On it were large amounts of information and prices. It's indeed much more than the last time. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. Whatever you want to exchange for, feel free to exchange. Hong looked at Luo Feng. You should be able to exchange for 90 stars worth of items if you have more crystals. Feel free to exchange for them. Saying that last sentence, Hong's face had a smile. He had long guessed that amongst the treasure hunters on Misty Island, there would definitely be people secretly hiding 1 or 2 Muya crystals. Luo Feng stared at the screen. Spirits of nature. Number 2 has 3, number 5 has 2, and number 9 has 2 too. Luo Feng reported. Hong nodded as he listened. He wasn't afraid of you buying, he was afraid you wouldn't buy. Babata, can you see the screen? Luo Feng asked. I can see. I knew you Earthlings couldn't bring out any treasures, you're indeed poor. Treating these things like treasures. Babata was mentally prepared that Hong's items would be bad, but looking at them now, they were indeed bad. Oh, there's a little treasure. Babata shouted. Luo Feng, the gravity room at the bottom of the ancient tools list. Luo Feng swiftly looked down. Ancient gravity room. 1,000 times Earth's gravity, price 90 stars. Luo Feng was shocked. Wasn't this the elite training camp's gravity room? It wasn't there the last time, yet the head was willing to bring it out this time. It seemed like he really wanted the Muya crystals. However, why was the price so high? 90 stars, that was 4.5 Muya crystals in the entire world. There were very few people who could bring out such a price. The head purposely set this price, obviously wanting him to buy it for 4.5 Muya crystals. Head, this ancient gravity room, I want it. Luo Feng said. Oh. Hong was shocked as he looked at Luo Feng. Looks like you really did have some extra gains. This ancient gravity room is indeed very useful for a fighter's training. I've always been reluctant to sell it. Now that you want it, I'll sell it to you. The spirits of nature, do you still want them? The ancient gravity room alone cost 90 stars. At least Luo Feng's assets were only this much. 2 more portions of dragon blood, 2,000-year black crow roots too, to round it up. Luo Feng said. Spirits of Nature 2000-year Black Crow Roots, a total of 3 stars, a total of 20 stars. Adding the Ancient Gravity Rooms 90 stars, a total of 110 stars. Hong was shocked as he looked at Luo Feng. 110 stars, that was 5.5 Muya crystals. Luo Feng's black casual clothes had 5 Muya crystals on it, the remaining 0.5 was on Hong's tab. TSK, Luo Feng, your gains this time aren't small. Hong revealed a smile. I did gain something once no one else saw. Luo Feng laughed, saying, however, my pocket was empty in an instant. The spirits of nature, you'll receive them when you leave. As for the ancient gravity room, you'll have to wait a few days, I'll send someone to deliver it to your house. Hong was very happy. How many crystals did the big powers of Earth have? And those who knew of the crystals' effects would all think of ways to buy them from other powers. Why would they sell them? And Luo Feng selling them made Hong's mood extremely good. When Luo Feng walked out of the ship's entrance, he too was carrying a silver briefcase. Within it were the spirits of nature. Investigator Luo. Luo Feng was shocked as he looked ahead, dressed in a luxurious black leather jacket. A silver-haired old lady speaking fluent Chinese, escorted by 3 underlings, smiling as she walked over. Hello, Investigator Luo, sorry to disturb you, you can call me Isadona. I wonder if I have the honor to have coffee with Investigator Luo? Isadona? Luo Feng immediately thought of a name. The Queen of the Underground World, the HR Alliance's chairman. Isadona. As a star traveler warrior, Luo Feng was very familiar with the important figures of Earth. Isadora. This Queen of the Underground World, her story could easily be written into a novel. Hongming Headquarter City, within a quiet coffee shop in a private room. Luo Feng and Isadora sat opposite each other. Lady Isadora. Luo Feng tore open the sugar packet, pouring it into his coffee cup, stirring it slowly. What business do you have with me? Investigator Luo is so direct, I'll get straight to the point. Old Granny Isadora smiled, crow's feet appeared at the corners of her eyes. During the fight for the Muya crystals on Misty Island, Investigator Luo's strength was actually on par with the 3rd and 4th chairman. It really made everyone see you in a different light. Luo Feng smiled, the fight on Misty Island had indeed put him on par with the other 3 chairmen. Investigator Luo's gains this time are not small either. Isadora looked at Luo Feng. Our HR Alliance really wants the Muya crystals, of course the conditions can be decided by Investigator Luo, will definitely be fair. Luo Feng smiled. Muya crystals? Of course he understood that the powers all over the world would fight to get their hands on the Muya crystals. The Muya crystals had many uses, one of which was the ability to allow a student level 8 or 9 fighter to evolve to the Star Traveler level within a month, meaning, 1 Muya crystal could immediately create a representative warrior. How many representatives were there on Earth? To the 5 great countries, a representative was equivalent to a moving nuclear weapon. Stupid, you're preparing to use the Muya crystals to create a Star Traveler level 1 fighter. Within the space of the wrist guard, Babata, dressed in a luxurious royal robe, sat at the dining table eating in big mouthfuls, cursing, actually using a treasure like the Muya crystal to create a Star Traveler level 1 fighter. What a waste. It was indeed a waste. Muya crystals weren't much to the Yunmo Planet Master, but the Yunmo Planet Master had collected a lot of them. In the universe, Muya crystals were considered treasures. And in the universe, Star Traveler level 1 fighters were common goods, too many to count. They were already considered the weakest fighters. Who would waste a Muya crystal to create a fighter? For example, Hong and Thunder God, they wouldn't be willing to give them to the war gods. Without the Muya crystals, it would be extremely difficult for them to break through to the star level, but with the Muya crystals, their chances would be much higher. But obviously, on Earth, a Star Traveler level 1 warrior was already standing at the peak of Earth. Muya crystals? I'm really sorry, I just exchanged some things with the head. Luo Feng's face was full of apology. Oh, so it's like that. Chairman Isadona looked at Luo Feng. Investigator Luo, are there any left? Even 1 Muya crystal was enough to create a representative. Luo Feng smiled mysteriously. Chairman Isadona immediately had a realization. She understood that Luo Feng had a stockpile. In that case, Lady Isadona, I will visit you directly next time. Luo Feng smiled. However, I like ancient things like spaceships and other weird things. Oh. Isadona was surprised. To the various countries, some items from the ancient civilization were indeed classified. After all, they might be able to discover something by studying the technology of the ancient civilization. Alright, I will prepare the list and wait for Investigator Luo to come. Isadona smiled. Some ancient remains could be exchanged for Muya crystals. Isadona didn't hesitate. Luo Feng was very clear, the ancient ruins on Earth had long been discovered, whatever could be moved would have been long ago. And if Hong and the others couldn't move it, he probably couldn't either. Since that was the case, he could only think of ways to contact the various countries, the HR Alliance and dojos, to see if he could get the materials needed to assemble the spaceships etc. He had to compare the prices. After all, the Muya crystals were treasures that everyone wanted. That afternoon, Luo Feng sat in the auto jet back to his home in Yangzhou City. After lunch, Luo Feng's home 2nd floor, only Luo Feng, Luo Hua and his parents were there, a family of 4. Dad, Mom, Luo Hua, after you swallow it you'll feel your entire body go numb and cool. Luo Feng took out the 3 pieces of the light green fruit and placed them in front of his family. These 3 pieces were actually the same spirit of nature, the medicinal properties of the spirit of nature were extremely gentle and didn't harm the body at all. However, to give one spirit of nature to 3 normal people to eat, not many people would do such a thing, it was really a waste. One spirit of nature can allow an advanced level warlord fighter to immediately jump to an intermediate level war god, or even an advanced level war god. With large amounts of medicinal properties hidden within the body, as one trains and absorbs it, one's strength will increase very quickly. Hence, one spirit of nature is equivalent to an advanced level war god. And to normal people, at most it can create a warlord fighter. It's pretty sweet. Luo Hongwu gently bit, it melted in his mouth. It's tastier than carrots. Gong Xianlan commented. It's delicious. Luo Hua also swallowed. Luo Feng watched as his family all ate before saying, "Oh, this thing tastes better than carrots, but the price is much higher. It's more expensive than the 1,000-year black crow root from before." What? More expensive than the 1,000-year black crow root? Luo Hongwu, Gong Xianlan and Luo Hua were all shocked. Last time when Luo Feng was trapped in archaeological ruin number 9, his family was in trouble. Luo Hua was the one who used the 1,000-year black crow root to directly become the 8th largest shareholder of ICBC. That 1,000-year black crow root, in terms of price, is already unbelievably expensive. He just ate a few dozen billion in one bite? Luo Hongwu and the other 2 exchanged glances. Dad, Mom, don't use money to measure things. Some treasures on earth can't be bought with money. Luo Feng shook his head. You guys just ate one of these spirits of nature. I brought 8 more spirits of nature and 2 portions of dragon blood. Luo Hua, I'll leave these to you. 8 spirits of nature? 2 portions of dragon blood? Luo Hua was clearly shocked. Luo Feng smiled as he saw this. People with different statuses look at things differently. In terms of strength, when he receives his teacher's inheritance, Luo Feng will be on the same level as Hong and Thunder God. People like Hong and Thunder God are all high up above, with even more power than the 5 great countries. This kind of status is indeed useless in terms of Earth's currency. And in terms of status. The only inheritor of the Master of Yunimo planet, this status is even higher than the Emperor of the Silver Blue Empire, who controls the 8 great galaxies. Sadly, the Master of Yunimo planet is dead and his power is gone. Of course, Luo Feng still has to be grateful because if Yunimo planet wasn't destroyed, he wouldn't have the chance to become the disciple of the Master of Yunimo planet. Luo Feng laughed as he watched his parents and brother try to wave his ghost blade. Babata, test my parents and brother's fitness level. Luo Feng said, what level? Your dad is a student level 3 stage, your mom is a student level 2 stage, and your brother is a student level 3 stage. Normal people's absorption rate is really low. Even though that spirit of nature was split into 3 portions, each portion's effect isn't any weaker than a portion of dragon blood. A portion of dragon blood, your so-called fighter can become a beginner-level warlord after drinking it. Babata said. Luo Feng was satisfied. His parents' health was good and that was enough. He never expected them to go to the wilderness to hunt monsters. Dad, Mom, I have something to tell you. Luo Feng said. What is it? Luo Hongwu and Gong Xianlan were still immersed in the joy of being reborn. I've received some news, our family still has relatives alive. Luo Feng said. Alive. Luo Hongwu and his wife immediately became excited. Feng, quickly tell us how many? Right now, we've already discovered 2 families. Luo Feng said directly, one is Mom's cousin, Gong Xianhua. My uncle's little flower? Mother Gong Xianlan was a little surprised, but obviously not too surprised. Because back when the Grand Nirvana period began, Mother was very young and didn't remember much. Only when she was escaping did she find out from Luo Feng's grandfather that she had such a relative. So, Mother didn't have any detailed memories of Gong Xianhua. What about the second family? Luo Hongwu asked. The second family is your aunt Luo Hongqin, who is also my great-aunt. My great-aunt's child, Tang Cheng, is also alive. Right now, Tang Cheng is married and has children, a boy and a girl, the twins are the same age as me. Luo Feng said. Aunt is still alive? Aunt is still alive? Luo Hongwu stared wide-eyed. Luo Feng's heart ached as he saw this. Back when he lived in a cheap rental house, he often heard his father mention this aunt. Because before the Grand Nirvana, his father could already remember, and had a deep impression of his aunt. Hence, when he talked about his family, other than Luo Feng's grandparents, it was his great-aunt. Auntie used to bring me good food every time she came to visit me. She even bought me a handheld game console. I still remember her face clearly. Luo Hongwu's tears were flowing. I didn't expect her to still be alive. Right back then her family was traveling in Kyoto. When the disaster happened, they were trapped there, and it was later expanded into Kyoto headquarters city. Luo Feng nodded. Kyoto should be considered China, the place with the highest survival rate during the Grand Nirvana period. Feng, do you know where your great-aunt is? I want to go see her now. Luo Hongwu said. Now. Luo Feng couldn't help but look at his mother, she nodded back. So many years of anticipation. How could they wait any longer? Then let's prepare and leave immediately. Luo Feng nodded. Around 4 p.m. that day, the dark blue auto jet stopped in one of the 8 great cities of Kyoto headquarters city, Tianjin City, the district of the Limit Hall. Luo Feng didn't get anyone to pick him up. The family of 4 sat in a car and headed towards his father's aunt's house. Chief, Tianjin City's report. A bald middle-aged man received a document from his underling, waving his hand to let him go. He opened the document and looked at the report. Luo Feng came to Kyoto headquarters city? The bald middle-aged man was shocked, immediately picking up the phone beside him and dialing a secret line. Please connect to number 1 chief. China's gains from the Misty Island battle were not bad. However, the Muya crystals were definitely treasures. No one would complain about having more. When the news of Luo Feng's arrival in Kyoto spread, China's upper echelons immediately took action. And Luo Feng himself sat in a normal car with his family to visit his great-aunt. Within a small residential district. Ding dong ding dong. Luo Feng and his family stood in front of a villa. His father Luo Hongguo was pressing the doorbell. Don't ring the doorbell, there's no one at home, their old lady is in the hospital, their son and daughter-in-law are there to take care of her. An old man walking his dog shouted. Oh. Luo Feng's spirit energy spread out, scanning the villa. Indeed, there was no one. May I ask, old man, which hospital is it? Luo Feng asked. It's definitely our Tianjin city's number 1 hospital. The old man said, Old Tang's family is quite rich, it'd be weird if they didn't go there. Luo Feng and his family sat in the car, 1 in the front and 3 in the back. Aunt's family's life isn't bad, they all live in villas, much better than ours. Luo Hongguo smiled, I can rest easy now. Aunt's grandson and granddaughter were very smart when they were young, their grades were very good, they entered Kyoto University at 15. They are now in a country's key research institute, the villa was allocated to them by the institute. Luo Feng said these were all from the information Lu Yen had sent. Luo Hongguo and Gong X and Lan laughed, so smart. As smart as our family's children. Luo Feng and Luo Hua couldn't help but look at each other. Waha, this is called talent. Within the wrist guard space, Babata, who was comfortably soaking in the bathtub, laughed loudly. Luo Feng, from the looks of it, your brain expanse is high, it should be related to your Luo family bloodline. The 4 children born after the great Nirvana with the Luo family bloodline are all not bad. You don't have to say your little brother is also very smart, relying purely on self-study, he's already so good at the stock market. Your aunt's grandson and granddaughter all have a bit of your aunt Luo Hongqin's bloodline, hence they are also smart. People with a high brain expanse are naturally smart. Babata said, of course they aren't as smart as you. Tianjin City, one of the 8 citadels of the capital base city. Outside a special ward of the First People's Hospital. An old lady with white hair was lying on the sickbed. Her face was completely pale. A middle-aged couple was sleeping on the sofa next to them. A young man and a young woman were talking to the old lady beside the bed. You are. One of the young women turned to look at the door in confusion. At the door was Luo Feng's family. Luo Hongguo walked over and looked at the old lady on the bed. His breathing was a little rapid. The old lady also looked at the middle-aged man in confusion. Gradually her expression changed. She was also a little excited. You are. This caused the middle-aged couple on the sofa to get up. Mom, what's wrong? The couple ran over. Who are you? The middle-aged man looked at Luo Hongguo warily. You're Tang Qing, right? Luo Hongguo looked at the middle-aged man. In the blink of an eye, you've grown old. You are. Tang Qing looked at the person in front of him in confusion. Luo Hongguo was so emotional that he couldn't hold back his tears. He looked at the old lady who also struggled to sit up. She looked at Luo Hongguo carefully. You're Hongguo. Yes, it's me, Hongguo. And you actually recognized me. Luo Hongguo became excited. It really is Hongguo. You look exactly the same as your father. That mouth. The old lady excitedly extended her skinny hand and grabbed Luo Hongguo. Hongguo, you're still alive. Your aunt didn't expect to see you before she died. You're my cousin? The middle-aged man looked at Luo Hongguo in shock. Yeah. Luo Hongguo nodded. My God, this has been over 40 years. Cousin. The middle-aged man Tang Qing was also extremely excited. The Grand Nirvana battle destroyed so many families. So many people were scattered all over the world. At that time, transportation was cut off. Communication was cut off. Many of the country's household registers were lost. I recognized you immediately. The old lady was extremely happy. You look exactly the same as my brother. Hongguo, where are your parents? Luo Hongguo shook his head. The old lady saw this and couldn't help but to sigh. Little Feng, little Hua, come here. Luo Hongguo waved his hand and looked at the old lady. Aunt, these are my 2 children. Hongguo, you were just a little kid back then. In the blink of an eye, you have 2 sons. And they're all grown up. Come, let me see. The old lady tried her best to open her eyes wide. Luo Feng and Luo Hua walked to the bedside. The old lady looked carefully. Ichim, not bad. They're both quite handsome. They look like our Luo family. Yong Qing, Yong Yuan, little Feng, little Hua, come over. You 4 kids should have a good chat. The old lady called. The door was suddenly kicked open. A group of people in the ward were shocked. A group of people in the ward turned their heads to look at the door with dissatisfaction. 3 people walked in. One was a young man with a cold gaze. Behind him were 2 sturdy men. Seeing these 3 people, Great Aunt's family's faces changed. What are you doing here? Great Aunt's granddaughter Tang Yongqing stepped forward. Her face was filled with anger. I'm just telling you. You still have 3 days to choose. The cold-eyed youth looked coldly at Tang Yongqing. Yongqing, you should know my temper. You get out. Don't stay here. Tang Yongqing said. Tang Yongyuan stepped forward and pointed angrily at the youth. Wang Xing'an, don't go overboard. My sister and I are level 1 researchers. Bullshit. The cold youth stared coldly at Tang Yongyuan. I don't even care about your research. Don't even mention a bullshit researcher like you. Punk, don't think I won't make a move on you just because of your sister. I'll give your sister 3 days. If she doesn't agree after 3 days, not only your sister but you punk who scolded me 3 times, I'll deal with you too. 3 days. The cold youth raised 3 fingers at Tang Yongqing. He smiled evilly. 3 more days. My beautiful Yongqing. I really don't wish for a beautiful flower to wither like this. Tang Yongyuan was so angry her entire body was trembling. Yongqing, what's going on? The middle-aged couple beside asked. Dad, it's fine. Yongqing consoled. Old man, listen carefully. The cold youth looked at Tang Qing. He smiled. Within 3 days, if your daughter agrees to be my woman, your whole family will live well. If not, I'll send your whole family to hell. Your fate is now in Yongqing's hands. Ah. Luo Feng stood beside and watched calmly. Luo Hua looked at Luo Feng. Big brother? Don't rush. Let's see what he's playing at. Luo Feng said calmly. Luo Hua nodded. Tang Qing and his wife were still confused. The old lady sitting on the bed beside shouted, Yongqing, just who is this person? What's going on? Wang Xing, and you already have so many women. Why are you bothering my sister? Tang Yongyuan raged. I don't have any other hobbies. My hobby is to collect all sorts of women. Wang Xing smiled evilly. Look at your sister. Even though her looks are worth 85 points, her scholarly aura is worth at least 20 points. Beyond full marks. She's really mesmerizing. I'm the only one in my collection that's missing. Yongqing, if you resist, you know the outcome. There's a saying, if you can't resist, just close your eyes and enjoy. Wang Xing smiled widely. I really don't want to personally destroy you. Do you know how much pain I felt when I destroyed the women who resisted me? Saying that, he clutched his chest. You pervert. Tang Yongyuan shouted. People like you will never understand my thoughts. Wang Xing'an's gaze was filled with arrogance. He looked pitifully at Yongyuan. This angry expression, in my eyes you're nothing but an ant. After which he turned to look at Yongqing. His expression became bleak. Yongqing, back then we were so good. You loved me and I loved you. Wasn't that great? You forced me to use forceful methods. I hate using fists the most. Yongqing bit her lips. Pah, pah. Applause resounded. Everyone in the room turned to look curiously. Wang Xing'an and his 2 underlings looked over curiously. Luo Feng, dressed in a black casual shirt, was gently clapping his hands and smiling at Wang Xing'an. I really don't like it when people act cool in front of me. Wang Xing'an raised his chin. His gaze was cold like a venomous snake. He's clapping his hands. Second brother, go break his hands. Yes. A sturdy man laughed savagely. Stop. Yongqing shouted. Looking at Wang Xing'an, she was about to cry. I'll promise you. Don't do this anymore. Don't do this. Haha, isn't this good? Wang Xing'an's eyebrows immediately creased. He laughed. Second brother, come back. I'm magnanimous. I'll spare you. I didn't expect to encounter such a thing in Kyoto headquarter city. A voice resounded. The group of people in the bed all turned to look. The one who spoke was Luo Feng. Wang Xing'an's expression immediately became ugly. His gaze became cold. You're looking for death. Don't interfere. Yongqing looked anxiously at Luo Feng. He's called Wang Xing'an. He's from Kyoto's Wang family. He controls quite a bit of the family's finances. He's the family's first successor. His mother is from Kyoto's main military district. I should call you cousin. Luo Feng laughed. Yongqing was stunned. Luo Feng walked straight towards Wang Xing'an. He walked calmly. Who are you? Wang Xing'an stared hard at Luo Feng. Who am I? Luo Feng smiled. Shio. The paper beside the bed suddenly broke into 6 pieces. The 6 pieces of paper spun and danced in the air, leaving 6 afterimages. At a speed that no one could react to, they sliced through Wang Xing'an's shoulders, legs, spine and lower abdomen. Just a little bit of blood flew out. The blood gathered in midair and formed a small blood ball that landed before Luo Feng. You. Wang Xing'an wanted to struggle. However, his entire body was paralyzed. He could only move his head. The entire room went silent. The 2 bodyguards were dumbfounded. They were very clear that the opponent was a spirit reader. The other people in the room, Tang Yongqing and the others, stared at Luo Feng. They then looked at Luo Feng's family. Just what did this relative's family do? Where did such a powerful person come from? You dare to attack me? Wang Xing'an gritted his teeth in anger. That angry expression of yours. Luo Feng looked down at Wang Xing'an, using your words. In my eyes, you're just an ant. You're courting death. Courting death. Wang Xing'an's gaze was terrifying. Courting death. Luo Feng looked at Wang Xing'an. Tell me, who are you looking for to avenge you? Your mother has connections with the main military district? Oh, China's army's #1, an existence surpassing the war god level, Jia. And your Wang family is one of the 9 great families of the HR Alliance. The person with the highest position in the HR Alliance is the HR Alliance's chairman, Isadona. Luo Feng took out the phone from his pocket. He opened the phone book and pointed the screen at Wang Xing'an. The 2 calls in the middle, one is from Jia and the other is from the HR Alliance's chairman, Isadona. If you want to find them to avenge me, you're welcome to make a call. Don't look at the other calls. The one above is from the head of the dojo of limits, Hong.